NASA like spruces up and all their pictures of like the solar system. So when they get pictures like Mars and everything, like you normally get like the grainy ones, that's what like
Yeah.
the real ones apparently back in like whatever, like 1980s or whatever. And then you get the ones now that are like super weirdly and detailed and all orangey. But it's all done to like two chaps who just spruce up pictures of the solar system, which is a bit weird. So they just take artistic license. I mean, there might be too, who knows? But let's just go with artistic license. So like everything we see, it could be just two guys' imagination. They're just having the best times of their lives.
Yeah, there's actually none of this is there. It's all just two guys just doodling stuff. Although
Yeah,
I don't know, do you reckon the pyramids are just one elaborate hoax? so, so,
I
so-
would, but it's like it's too consistent because they keep finding them everywhere. There was
uh,
one even in, I think it's in Antarctica somewhere. They found one there as well.
just
So I'm
some
like,
dudes in like the 1500s were just like, sack it. I'm just gonna build pyramids everywhere just so people get confused. I know that
maybe.
I know they've been dated and everything, so
That's what I
that's
mean. It's just like too weird and how they would like how would they even talk to each other to make these things happen? To be like, oh, we do one in Peru. Oh, we're gonna do one in Egypt. Oh, we'll do one in like this. Even in today's time, it would be like hard to communicate to everybody to get something done in time.
yeah. It's interesting,
So
isn't it?
yeah,
That people end up doing the same thing, which does sort of fit with creation stories, like where like they were at one point all people were together and then were separated, and
true.
like so they probably would have taken culture with them across the globe. And they reckon, I think it was the last ice age. They reckon potentially that people crossed over from America to like Russia to America. I think I'm sure it was the last ice
Hmm.
age because I think they thought it was frozen between like Canada and Russia, not China or Russia, somewhere up there.
Yeah,
I think. Anyway, it's very interesting though.
it is odd. And you gotta think like the last 100 years, or maybe yeah, probably like the last 150 years, like our like speed of like development has
Mhm.
just been insane. So like I feel like there has to be like some sort of weird divine intervention of some sort, just for us to just be like, boom, and now we're doing stuff. Whereas why were we doing stuff back in there? Or maybe we were, but like you said, like it's hard to keep evidence of everything. We just get like
Yeah.
small snippets of here stuff here and there.
I think like with technology, and it accelerates, doesn't it? Like you get this as you start to develop, you get this acceleration of it. So they like with computer technology now, it's massively accelerating. So the more that we're learning, the more it's accelerating the speed of development. So I
Yeah.
suppose when you're initially trying to do it, it's going to take a bit. It takes time to get that momentum, I
Yeah, I suppose
suppose.
it's now more of a refined process,
Yeah.
so it's easier to do. And then obviously now we've got AI, and then that's going to be the next thing that just goes off. Because now it's still programmed, so it's nothing too crazy. But the things it can already do is amazing. So once it starts to like take on that identity of its own, that could be good and bad. We don't know
Yeah.
yet.
Sending AI out across the universe to see if there's other life out there.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like we don't. Well, I feel like sometimes we forget how reliant we are on technology. It's kind of ridiculous. Like I go mad if my phone dies for more than 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Because
What is
now
my
we
life?
just, yeah, it pretty much is that way. And I hate it sometimes. But like now we're so far removed from nature. Like half of us wouldn't survive if like it was just a blackout for, I don't know, let's just say with 2 months of blackout, most people would just go crazy one day.
You might get a
Let's
bit
be
more
honest.
work, mate.
Pardon?
You might get a bit more work.
What? If there's a whole blackout, what am I working for?
Everyone will be like, "Ah, I've got nothing to do. I better go exercise. That's what we're gonna do."
You'll have to do something.
Yeah. I don't
Because
suppose
I
my
think
job would do more.
well, what would you be working for? If like there's a global blackout, what are you doing really?
Ah, or we'd need buildings.
Would you?
Well,
What power are you gonna? Well, I suppose you could still use the tools and still lay bricks and everything, but I feel like the world will be in such a mass panic. I don't think that would be your first thought.
imagine if electricity, like electricity itself, was like taken off. Now that would be
Well,
interesting.
that's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Like global blackout.
Yeah,
So
just
now
lost
all we
electricity.
have left is the sun and the moon. Like that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're saying you're going to work. I'm like, for what?
Ah, we could get some tools. Start digging a few holes.
It's a global, pandemic. This guy's just trying to build stuff. I'm like, no, man.
I keep myself amused. No, I'm not giving up.
Of course, you give up. I think we just, bundle together as a community.
I'd have to walk to yours.
Hey, some good exercise. You can get a bike. You might have to dodge a few raiders here and there, but
Yeah.
the,
Wow.
the only safe thing is I know no one's going to touch my vegetarian food, so I'll have food for days. The rest of you are fighting with all the meats and everything, so I'm gonna be good.
I'd be okay. I'm quite happy eating vegetarian if I have to.
No, man, I'm taking it all.
You won't have any freezer to store it all in.
I'll find a way. I'll find a way.
We'll all have to start growing our own again, having cold rooms and
Thing is, I'm okay, but it doesn't actually sound that bad. I'm like, if we actually could all just work for ourselves, it would cut out a lot of stresses of life. Let's be honest.
yeah. But then someone always starts a business. Even if we had a blackout, someone would start a business somewhere.
That's kind of true. Yeah, there's always going to be opportunists, I guess.
Oh yeah, someone always in this world, someone always ends up with more and someone always ends up with less,
That is the balance of life.
which is something deep to end us with.
Well, this was like its own. This could be 2 videos. The last sort of 5 minutes can be its own little podcast. To be honest, there you go. Sorted 2 videos for the week.
Sorted life out for everybody here.
Well, I don't know about Solar. We just went into a weird fantasy land where we didn't have to pretty much work, and that sounded amazing to me. Even though I don't even have the hardest job, I just think, you're not like, because the only reason why it works is to sustain life, and then obviously if you want to do even better, because you want these materialistic things or the perceived ideas of the materialistic things. But if half of that can't run anymore, then you're like, back to normal living. We're okay. We're reading books. We're chilling.
We're all gonna go and be gardeners. Well, farmers basically.
Yeah, well, that'll be the easiest thing for you to sustain life.
A few lumberjacks, a few farmers.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe who are those people that don't have technology?
The Amish.
Yeah, maybe they're onto something.
We're all gonna be Amish.
Kinda. I'm not against it. That's the weird thing. I'm not against it.
We're gonna go and start a little community.
Sounds like a cult though. That's the only problem. It just sounds a little cultish. Like now I feel like I'm gonna have to take over and like no technology unless
Cult of Steve.
absolutely necessary. Well, I don't want to call it a cult because I feel like cult is like a bad connotation. You never hear of a good cult, do you?
Not really, no.
So yeah, I just call it, living for better.
We'll call it the group of Steve.
It's very catchy. Anyway, with enough rambling, I think we'll call this weird podcast episode to an end. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
So next time.